Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Michael Hambrick TED Talk. I'd like to address these rumors uh, with mathematical facts that there is a superhero fatigue. Uh, it's false. I don't care what any producer tells you, I don't care what any director tells you, it is false. You know how I know it's false? Because these companies have to report. So either they're lying or they're lying. So, with that, I'll tell you where I got this information from. This is from businessinsider.com. Uh, I believe you can just look it up by Marvel movies ranked how much money at global box office 2021. That's where I got this from. I built this earlier this year, just to see, see it on a chart, and this is what I got. So uh, the yellow bar, it represents the sum of the budget. This is how much it costs to produce the film and stuff like that, marketing, all that. The gray bar is the sum of the opening weekend. It's pretty explanatory. The burnt orange bar is the sum of domestic box office. That means every U.S. domestic office. The blue bar is the sum of the world box office. So every theater outside of America or their territories. The orange and the blue bar should basically, be in close. They should be doing the same thing. There's 300 million people in the U.S. There's billions worldwide. So, like the interest is there. It's gonna match. America's interest is gonna match the world's. So, with that, this is going from 2008 to Ant-Man. All right, 2008 to Ant-Man, which is 2023. So this first one here, this is Iron Man. Iron Man exceeded 500 million. Its budget was nowhere close to that. So that's kind of, that's good stuff, right? Iron Man was a great film. So, they started the franchise off with Iron Man, and it was a great way to start that off. It involved technology. It just, Tony Stark was a great personality. Robert Downey Jr. was a great personality for Tony Stark's. So it was just a great film, and you can't really duplicate that. So with that, here is The Incredible Hulk 2, the second film, and you see how low that bar is, that blue bar is. It didn't do that great, but it was considered the first installment of the franchise. I mean, there was Hulk before this, but we don't talk about that. So then you have Iron Man 2. That one outdid Iron Man 1, right? Okay, so now you get to Captain America and Thor. Both first installments, right? And look how bad they did, right? And I'm not gonna say they did bad, but look at Iron Man, look at Iron Man 2, and then they look at these two, right? When they say superhero fatigue, it's because these films right here, right? All first installments. That's Black Widow, first installment, but that was also during COVID, right? Then you have the Eternals, right? Eternals, still like we're coming out of COVID, but Eternals was a great film. It wasn't for everybody, but it was a beautiful movie. It wasn't really for everybody. Everybody, you get it's hit or miss. To me, I thought it was a great film. Um, but then you have Shang-Chi, another first installment. Nobody heard of Shang-Chi, like comic book people would probably have, but he was not even on the radar, right? And so you see these films mirroring exactly what Thor and Captain America did. Superhero fatigue, where? Were we fatigued at Captain America and Thor? No, it's lies. They're just I don't know. I want to call it propaganda. They're pushing this out there. I don't know. I have no idea why, but they're pushing that out there, and it's not true. Because then here you have Avengers, you have Iron Man 3, you have Thor: The Dark World doing even better. You have Captain America, Winter Soldier. But that was crazy. That was crazy. But the films would get better and better and better, right? And so you get all the way up to Black Panther. Black Panther, where are you? Black Panther. Okay, Black Panther is all the way right here. I think this is Black Panther. No, that's Infinity War. Black Panther is right here. That's Black Panther. Doing better than almost everything, right? But that was because it was special. You know what I mean? It was very special. It was a very special film. No fatigue there. And then you have Infinity Wars and Endgame, right? Those are just amazing films. But the only first installment that really did well was Captain Marvel, right here. Captain Marvel did great. But there was no pandemic, you know what I mean? And then you have Spider-Man Far From Home, doing just as good as Captain Marvel. It was because of the pandemic right here that you see these numbers drop, and they drop significantly. You have all these people dying, you couldn't go nowhere. So when they say superhero fatigue, it's not true. It's just not true at all. And the numbers don't go down. You have people pouring. They're doing almost $1 billion on every film, but they're gonna sit there and say there's superhero fatigue. If you're talking about DC has internal issues. They have parental issues. Parents just don't understand. WB, Warner Brothers, whatever you want to call it, they really do hurt DC. They hurt them. To me, Shazam was where they should have went. That was fun, family. To me, that was perfect. It wasn't something that we've seen a million times already. It was fresh. It was new. It was good. And I think Shazam 2 was pretty good too. It's just, they try to downplay. But then you have The Boys. The Boys is a great perspective of, are heroes responsible enough to be what Marvel and DC presents their heroes as? And I honestly believe The Boys. I think you would see a lot more villains than you would see heroes. You would see heroes rise as a result of the villains, but you would still see the villains first. You would see people taking advantage of their powers. But this is my thought on it. You can leave your nasty comments. It really don't matter to me. But I do believe there is no superhero fatigue. There's no comedy fatigue, love story fatigue. There's no animation fatigue. None of that. So no horror story fatigue. So stop it. Just stop with that. Thanks. I'm Mike.